Hi, I'm Montgomery County Councilmember Craig Rice, and it's been a while since we've had an actual Rice report. This global pandemic has certainly set us a little bit back in terms of all the things that we were used to doing. But I want to start off by thanking all of our public health officials, public safety personnel, our frontline personnel who helped us to persevere through this incredibly difficult time. And it's through the hard work and heroism of so many men and women throughout this community. And for those of you who didn't serve on the front lines, but who made sure that you stepped up to help your fellow neighbors in need, I say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for helping us to get through this incredibly difficult time and to again rise as Montgomery County. So, where do we go from here? Well, I can tell you that your local government is working very hard to make sure that we focus on COVID recovery. That starts with making sure that people can still put food on their tables. That means that with our Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments and the work with Councilmember Mary Cheh and Councilmember John Staley and myself, we actually came up with a Farm Advisory Ad Hoc Committee. This committee is focused on food sustainability in the Metropolitan Washington region, and is now a permanent committee with the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments. I really want to thank the Board of Directors and all of the staff at COG for all of their great work, because what we're now going to have is a solid investment in not only personnel, but time in supporting food resiliency efforts throughout this region. I also want to talk about our economic recovery. Obviously, many people are unfortunately still without jobs. It means that we need to do so much more to get people back on track. And whether it's ensuring that folks are connected with the jobs of tomorrow is really incredibly important. We see so many people that are entering into the technology space, and great things like our Technology and Innovation Hub that's going to be built on the Montgomery College Rockville campus is an exciting way in which we can continue to support career pathways that lead towards technology careers. We also wanted to make sure that when it came to our kids, that we gave them all the things that they needed, including keeping them safe. We have new immunizations that will be out there for our 5 to 11 cohort, and so I encourage parents to make sure that they avail themselves of that as soon as they possibly can. I also want to talk about something that's happening now that's current, which is redistricting. Redistricting is something that happens after every census and gives us the opportunity to make sure that we're serving you well, making sure that each and every district has areas that are contiguous, that make sense, to where we bring communities together, not divide them, so that we can focus on common goods and common need. That's what redistricting is truly all about, and I'm very proud of the Commission on Redistricting that's put forth some great maps. This council looks forward to taking them up and working with the community through the public hearings to make sure that we all agree this is the best way for us to move forward. We've reached an exciting time in which we will be able to have some of our brand new folks who represent some of these new districts rise up and make sure that they're representing these new communities that have been built around these new redistricted areas. And so I encourage you to be involved and engaged, to make sure that you participate in the process, and to make sure that in 2022 you get out and vote. I wanted to close with a couple items that are incredibly important and newsworthy right now. Many of you have heard about the conversations around reimagining policing in our communities. And it's our Student Wellbeing Action Group that came up with some great recommendations on how we can continue to support our kids without over-policing our kids. Now, I'm not saying that our school resource officers over-policed. What I'm saying is that the policies that we have in place were ones that allowed for more police interaction than some of the other human and social interaction that we know many of our children needed. And so we're trying to strike a balance to make sure that we can provide the supports that are necessary for our students to get them back on track and focused on their education and their well-being, and not just put them into a pathway in which they're headed towards our prison pipeline. I think that we have a great mechanism utilizing the recommendations that we've seen from our SWAG work group. And I really want to thank the students for all of their great work and look forward to working with my council colleagues and the county executive to make sure that we act on these actions as quickly as possible. And of course, they can't be done without the great support of our superintendent, as well as our Montgomery County Board of Education. We are all partners in this effort because we all know that at the forefront, our students, their well-being is tantamount. Let me close by reminding folks that October is Domestic Violence Month. And I want to make sure that each and every one of you understand that it is not okay to take some of the frustrations that you may have and use them in a physical way or in a mental abusive way against someone that you say that you love. We have our Family Justice Center. Their number is 240-773-0444. And you can always dial the police if you feel as though your life is in danger. Please, let's make sure that during these incredibly difficult times of COVID and people being stuck in their homes for a long period of time, that we don't forget about what matters most. And that is the safety, well-being of each and every one of us. So with that, I want to say thank you again. It's happy to be back with you, my office, your office here in Rockville. And I look forward to working with you as we continue to lift ourselves out of the ashes of this COVID-19 pandemic and rise once again, as Montgomery County always does. Take care, and God bless.